Greetings to our family that is joining us via wherever you're joining from. This is one of those mornings. To the Monterey Center for Spiritual Living, we are continuing our transformative journey during the month of May with our series, Good to Great to Grand, with the focus on the topic this morning, the value-led life, celebrating what you want more of. Someone asked this question, where are your values leading you? And the response is, nothing informs our activity in the world more than our values. The space where our inner world is reflected in our outer space. And this is from that famous book of Anonymous. Today is Mother's Day, and we are celebrating the divine creativity. And I want to share with you this statement, or a series of statements from Eben Hotchkiss in the work, The School of Academy. And Eben writes, the quality of God that gives itself, nurtures life, and holds everything together is pure love. Unconditional love. The model we've been given for this way of loving is loving, and the model that we've been given for this way of loving and living is motherhood. The only thing that gives us a chance to love as God loves is the fact that the feminine is within us, all of us. This is the magic of motherhood. The Divine Mother, it is, if you will, a get-out-of-jail-free card. The feminine liberates us from our prisons of feeling separate from one another, of living in fear and judgment. That's why it is called the divine feminine or divine motherhood. A mother's love is so complete, so nourishing, it can only be God loving through them. I thought that was a very nice summation of Mother's Day and the divine feminine. And I found this little piece of Mother's Day humor that I thought I would share with you this morning. And it's a letter from Mom. Dear son, she begins, I enjoyed seeing you so much recently. It made me realize how much I miss you. But I don't get lonely because I have some male friends to keep me company. I wake up with Charlie Horse. I exercise with willpower. I spend my days with arthritis. And I go to bed with Ben Gay. Things are not the same, you know, she goes on. Everything is farther away now than it used to be. I notice it's twice as far to the corner, and they've added a hill. I've given up running after the bus because it now drives much faster than it used to. It seems, too, that they are making stairs steeper than in the old days. Have you noticed the smaller print in the newspapers now? And there's no sense in asking anyone to read it aloud. Everyone speaks in such low voices, I can hardly hear them. Even people are changing. They're so much younger than they used to be when I was their age. On the other hand, people my age are much older than I am. I ran into an old friend the other day, and she had aged so much that she didn't even recognize me. I'm writing this letter as I sit in front of my dressing table, glancing at my reflection, and confounded, they don't even make mirrors the way they used to. Love, Mom. I thought this was a nice little segue into our celebration of motherhood, and just a shout out to everyone who has served in the role of mother, that loving, compassionate presence. And I'm not going to go through all of the categories because I'm sure I'll miss one. But if you have had the honor and the privilege of loving another and stepping into that role of mother, we say, God bless you, and we appreciate what you continue to do, what you have done and what you continue to do. And so now we shift into our science of mind perspective of the value-led life. Living from our values is a transformative journey of self-discovery and alignment. It begins by understanding the areas on which we focus our attention and our energy. By consciously directing our energies towards pursuits that resonate with our values, we create a life that aligns with who we are. We explore and embrace our passions, and this allows us to tap into that wellspring of inspiration and joy deep within us. This allows us to navigate the world with integrity and authenticity and understand and clarify our beliefs. In our Science of Mind textbook, Ernest Holmes writes this on page 238. Releasing the weight of the past, limiting beliefs and judgments, frees us to rise up in faith, which is a mental assertion elevated to the plane of realization. And this is one of those riddles that sometimes Ernest would write with. And I think what he is saying here to us is that when we get to that point in life where we can let go of those limiting beliefs and judgments, this frees us to rise up in faith and to move to the next elevation in our life. In fact, I read something recently on the internet that said, don't remind me of those past mistakes and those past conditions. Those are in my past. I have moved on and I do not plan to bring them with me. And I think this is the choice point that we have as we are releasing that weight of those past judgments and limiting beliefs. Leave them there. You know, we don't want to put a return address on them and having them come back to us. We put a return address on them to send them back to that nothingness from whence they came. Practicing intentional self-discovery allows us to replace beliefs and thoughts that no longer serve us. And I want to just speak for a moment about self-discovery. You know, we are taught in our classes, we are taught in social media, we're taught in workshops and books that we read and places that we go that, you know, it's all about self-discovery. It's all about self-discovery. Well, what does self-discovery actually mean? Self-discovery means taking the time to be with oneself, to spend that time in contemplative silence, to spend that time in being in attune with this all-prevailing presence that is called spirit. This is where we have the opportunity to allow what is no longer serving us. In fact, this is where we identify what is no longer serving us. And this is where we get to release it. And this is where we really discover the true nature of our being as co-creators with the divine. And this is what leads us to experiencing a life of authenticity. When we transform our values into those tangible realities of life, and we learn to live in the moment of our deepest conviction and principles, this is where our values align with the truth of who we are as divine expressions of spirit. Transformation invites us to explore three aspects this morning of a value-led life. And those aspects are attention, passion, and beliefs. Attention, passion, and beliefs. We begin with attention. Where we place our attention plays a vital role in discovering and living our values. Where we direct our energy and attention determines what we perceive, experience, and ultimately prioritize our lives. This is what we prioritize around our lives around, what we pay attention to. Dr. Michael Beswick says this: as the alchemist of your own life, find a bit of the frequency you want to experience and place your attention there. As it becomes your perception, live from there. So we live from that place of awareness. We live from that place where we focus our attention. Continually focusing our attention on aspects of our values and the things that truly matter to us. And this is a key as we're focusing on our values, as we're focusing our attention on what it is that we desire in life, we have the opportunity to determine what truly matters. And as we recognize this, we also learn that our values are not static. Our values are fluid and change as we change and learn more about ourselves in any given moment. This is what I like about this idea of fluidity. There's something always in motion. You know, when you're static, it's almost like being flatlined. And I'm not ready for the flatline experience, so I want the fluidity in my life on an ongoing basis. With mindful attention, we cultivate a deeper understanding of our values, embracing them as the guiding principles in our daily lives. And we create a powerful alignment between our intentions and our actions, leading to a more meaningful and authentic experience. The next area that we examine for a value-led life is our passion. Our passions are the powerful currents that flow through our being, guiding us towards experiences that bring us joy and meaning. Eric Butterworth in The Creative Life wrote this: "There is a hidden genius in each person, which we give expression to through commitment, discipline, enthusiasm, and passion." When we commit to discipline, enthusiasm, and passion, we understand and connect with our passions on a deep level. Recognizing and honoring our passions, we align with our authentic selves and the values that underpin the expression of who we truly are as emanations of God. When we live in alignment with our passions, we infuse our actions and choices with enthusiasm, intention, and meaning. And when we're talking about passions, we're talking about really what lights us up on the inside. You know, you may have been asked, what are you passionate about? You know, what drives you, what motivates you, what propels you to get up in the morning? That's where we discover our passions. It is that driving force that propels us into action, propels us into motion. And as we come into alignment with the value that our passions add to our lives, this is another area where we discover our authenticity and we live in harmony with ourselves and with our values. And the third area we look at for value-led life is our beliefs, our BS, our belief systems. Our beliefs are the foundations of our values. They are deeply ingrained ideas and principles that influence our understanding of what is important, meaning, and true. I'll say that again. Our beliefs are those deeply ingrained ideas and principles that influence our understanding of what is important, meaningful, and true. And what I want you to notice in this presentation this morning is that we're talking about our own individual awareness, our own individual response to the things that add value to our lives. Again, this is where our spiritual practices allow us to come into alignment with what our values and our guiding principles are. Our beliefs shape how we perceive ourselves, others, and the world around us. Examining and clarifying our beliefs helps us to better understand our personal truths and the principles that are significant to us. Our beliefs, if you will, form the lens through which we interpret our experience and shape our values. They offer us a framework for defining our values and determining what we prioritize, stand for, and aspire to. And I just invite us to be mindful of taking on a belief or a value or an idea or tapping into the attention of someone other than ourselves. We have this committee that resides within our being. Some of us call it the ego, often defined as edging God out. We have this committee that sometimes convenes without our permission. It just shows up. And that committee tells us to do this and to do that and to do that. And because we are so ingrained in listening to the committee, we often don't question it. And yet, at a deeper core level, we know something is amiss with these instructions. It's not feeling good, as we say in African culture. It does not feel good in my bones. My bones are not telling me to do this. So it's whatever your cultural experience is, whatever it is that the awareness of your inner feeling is, that is what you tap into in defining your values, in discovering your values, in discovering your beliefs, and redefining them. And the good news is that these are not static, as I've said before. The good news is that we can always change. We can always make a difference. We can always have a new thought about an idea. And it's okay to question. It's even okay to question God. God is not on the ego trip. So we can question God and we can ask, what does this mean? This is how we develop that inner communication, that communication from the heart to the head. That's where it all takes place, from the heart to the head. And so in examining our beliefs, in becoming attuned with and in alignment with our personal truths, we explore and align with our authentic selves. We cultivate a value system that reflects and allows us to live in integrity and in authenticity. And so our summary and call to action this morning is to remember a value-led life invites us to cultivate skills to filter out the distractions and noises we encounter in life. This again is where our spiritual practices come into play, because it is through our spiritual practices that we can turn off that outer switch and turn up the volume on the inner switch, because we're now no longer distracted by what is going on the outside. Where we place our attention plays a vital role in discovering and living from our values. Our passions are the powerful currents that flow through our being, guiding us towards experiences and bringing us joy and meaning. And our beliefs are the foundations of our values. And I just had a little humorous thought as I was getting dressed this morning to prepare for our time together. Something within me was just saying, be casual today. Yeah, it's Mother's Day, and yeah, you should look halfway nice, and you're going to be on camera, so you kind of want to look a little put together. But I just wasn't feeling it, so I put the shirt on. I said, well, I won't tuck the tail in. And almost immediately, I heard my mother's voice. You do not walk out of this house with your shirt tail hanging out. You know better than that. You were raised different from that. And so I go, okay. So I tucked the shirt tail in. So this for me is just a reminder that the values, the attentions, and the passions, and the beliefs that were part of my early formation came from my mother, came from that mother figure. And for those of us who had the experience of a nurturer, whether that nurturer showed up in female form or in male form or in a non-specific gender form, however that individual showed up, they laid the foundation based on love. And love is the only experience, it is the only power that there is. And so the results that we create are an inevitable movement from good to great to grand. And we recognize and activate our values in our individual collective experiences. And I'll close with this quote from Tom Peters, an American writer. And he says, celebrate what you want more of. Celebrate what you want more of. And so let us go forth and celebrate not only this day, which is Mother's Day, but celebrate life. Let's just celebrate life. Each moment that we have life, let's celebrate that so that we have more of it. I invite us now to say our affirmation for the week together. I live from my values in ways that enhance my life and the world around me. Let us say that again. I live by values in ways that enhance my life and the world around me. Let us join together in prayer. Recognizing the all-prevailing presence of Spirit, recognizing that power within, we now turn within to that place of inner awareness, where we know that there is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is whole, it is perfect, it is complete. It is a life that I am living now, and it is a life that each one that is a part of the spiritual community known as the Monterey Center for Spiritual Living is living. And how good it is to know that this life is not just limited to this narrow scope of individuals and places that I have defined. This life is eternal. It is forever and ever and expanding. And it encompasses all people, all sentient beings in all places, that which is seen and that which is unseen at all times. And so from a place of gratitude this morning that I speak this word of joyous celebration as we recognize the nurturing mother of the feminine spirit, honoring how God shows up for each individual. And it is the God essence that we take forth into our lives. We take forth this essence with grace, grace for ourselves and grace for others. We take forth this compassion with an energy of love and embracing and welcoming and including, knowing that we are all one with the divine. It is from this place of love that miracles happen. The miracles that are seen and unseen, that are continually happening around us. And I am so grateful for the miracles that are occurring in my life. And as I bless and give thanks for and invite the expansion of miracles in my life, I do the same for each one that is a part of this journey called life. I speak my word of blessing this morning for places where people are gathering in the name and nature of love, knowing that as we travel this journey of life, there may be points when our lives and our paths are parallel, and there may be times when they intersect. And so it is at those points of intersection that we acknowledge the unconditional love that is evident in each and every one of us. I speak my word of blessing this morning for those who are desiring right livelihood in every area of their life, knowing that as we make our intentions known, the universe just says yes. And so it is with a clear intention this morning that I make my declaration to the universe, knowing and declaring and affirming that I am loved and that I am loving and that I live a value-driven life. And for those who are experiencing transitions in their lives, however those transitions are showing up, know that the love and peace of spirit is with each one right here, right now. That invisible hand that is holding and lifting and guiding as we navigate those currents of life which sometimes seem not to have a meaning or seem insurmountable. or seem like that river is too wide for us to cross. Know that it is in those times where the Spirit is saying, I am with you right here, right now, all of the time. And so for this and so much more, I am eternally grateful as I release this word back into that law which always says yes. I just allow it to be so. And I invite you to affirm this with me as we say together, and so it is, and so it is. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. And as I remind you often on Sundays, we have prayer request forms, and we have a confidential prayer request box that you may leave your treatment request in. And we also have our World Ministry of Prayer that supports us with prayer support. And we also partner with Silent Unity. That contact information is, you can find it in our newsletter and on our website. And so we invite you to take advantage of those opportunities. And now it is time for our gracious giving, a time where we participate in the abundant flow of life. And I invite us to say together now our affirmation of abundance. I recognize the presence of God within as the source of my abundance. Out of my abundance consciousness flows everything I could desire in life. With gratitude and thanksgiving, I now participate in the flow of uninterrupted abundance. This prosperous experience is evidence of my abundance consciousness. And as our usher passes the basket here in the center, I invite those of you who are viewing online to make your donations. Remember, we are a donation-based community. Go ahead, Richard. We are a donation-based community, and it is through your gracious support, your very gracious support, that we're able to bring you the gathering celebration on Sunday. We're able to provide you with well-being and wellness and classes and other activities. And we appreciate the way that you support our center. You may mail in your donations, and the information is on our screen. You may text to give, that information is there. And you may contribute to our website to montereycsl.org. And I especially want to give a shout out to our virtual community and thank you for the way that you support us. And we invite you to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our Facebook page and also to our YouTube channel so that we can continue to spread this good news. Today is Mother's Day, as I have shared, and we are passing out roses to mothers that are here and the mother figures that are here in the center. And we're saying, bless you to mothers everywhere, and those mother figures. We appreciate you, and we thank God for you. For those of you who are viewing via Zoom and may live in the local area, remember that we have Tai Chi here every Monday at 10:30. And also on next Sunday, the 19th, we will have our Zen Tingle class workshop that is hosted by practitioner Sandy Nee. And the workshop is being offered on a donation basis. The value of the workshop is around $40. Sandy is offering it to us on a donation basis. And there is an $8 fee for the cost of the materials. So if you're in the Monterey area, we invite you to come by and join us on next Sunday for the Zen Tingle workshop. On the fourth Sunday of this month will be our spiritual discussion circle, and this is hosted by Denise Kaku. And as we prepare to say good morning to our Facebook and YouTube community, we just want you to know that we love you, we appreciate you, and we thank God for you.